Good evening, everyone. We're going to give everybody just 5 more minutes at 6:05 and we will get started, okay? Thank you.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to go ahead and start our meeting. I'd like to say good evening to everyone that's on Zoom, Facebook, and YouTube. Welcome, and thank you for attending the 11th Precinct Police Community Relations Council meeting. We're going to go ahead and we're going to start with our prayer and reflection. Is Chaplain Bailey on? Okay. Well, Reverend Peterson, how about, I know I'm putting you on the spot and I'm so sorry to do so, but I see you. Would you like to open us up in prayer?
Sure, let us open up in prayer.
Thank you.
Yes, Lord, we thank you again for this day and all that you continue to do in our lives. Lord, we ask that you continue to bless this great men of police officers, oh God, and bless this meeting as we come in together, oh God, that you will always be in the midst of all of us. We thank you again for this day. Continue to bless and keep us in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And what we're going to do, we're going to put everybody on mute, and then we'll ask you to unmute yourself, okay? So just remember the rules. So what we're going to do, we're going to get into our police report. Our president's report. So what we're going to start doing, if I see quite a few of my city officials, I see Councilman Scott Benson, I see Commissioner Jewel Ware. If you guys want to, we'll start with you, Commissioner Jewel Ware. If you want to unmute yourself and give us any updates that we may need to know about. I know there's not a lot going on, but anything you'd like to tell us.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, hear you very good. Thank you.
So let me say peace and blessings to everyone, and thank you for that lovely prayer. We have on the Wayne County Commission, I'll say in the last 2 weeks, we've been working with our young people. And when I say young working with, I mean by Zoom. We have developed a Wayne County Youth Council where every commissioner submit names throughout their district that they represent to try to work with the students to bring them closer to government. Sherry and I believe Sherry's on the line. We continue to do our volunteer work on Wednesdays and Thursdays, assisting our seniors and giving out masks because it's very important that we continue to stay safe. And that's primarily our office is open. We open at 9 a.m. in the morning. And if anyone have any county concerns, I always remind everyone that no foreclosures are taking place. This year, the treasurer is not removing people from their homes. And if anyone have any concerns, can't make their arrangements, whatever, regarding housing, then please give us a call, 313-224-0916. Again, the number is 224-0916. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Scott Benson, are you with us? Councilman, are you with us? You might have to unmute yourself. I still see he's on mute. Okay, well, we'll come back to Councilman Scott Benson. I'm trying to scroll and see who else I see here. So if I'm missing someone, if you can please either raise your hand. Commissioner Birch, are you on the line? Okay, Commissioner Birch must not be available just yet.
President Jackson? This is Diane Allen. I've lost sound. I can't hear anything.
Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Don't ask me what happened. I'm sorry, guys. How are you able to hear now, Diane? Are you good, Diane? She still can't. Okay.
I know I can hear you as well, so.
Okay. I do see Councilman Scott Benson has joined. Hi there. Do you have any updates to provide us, Councilman? Good evening. Unmute yourself. Yep, there you go.
Good evening. Thank you all for being here and inviting me to come this evening. I appreciate this opportunity. It's always a pleasure, honor, and privilege to come before you. And I see Jewel Ware, Commissioner Ware out there. I see Ms. Allen. I see you. I see Mr. Bailey. It's fantastic to see everybody this evening. Yes. So real quick, just want to give a couple of updates of what's going on. So right now we are preparing to go into the City Council recess, where we're handling a number of items. Some of the major legislative issues that we have on the table right now are, number one is the adult use marijuana ordinance, which we're working on, and that's being shepherded through the process by Council Member James Tate. That ordinance may, and I'm saying may, be voted on for approval on the 24th of November, which will be about 2 weeks from now. The problem is there are still a number of issues and concerns people are trying to work out, so it may get pushed back into early next year. And so, as many of you know, I have been an avid opponent of medical marijuana, but after the city and the state voted 60% to support, I stopped that fight. So what I am doing now is lending my ear to trying to make sure that we have good legislation moving forward. And what the city is trying to do now is regulate adult use marijuana. So it's no longer will be just medical, it will be adult use. And we're looking at about a $9 million annual revenue stream that would come to the city of Detroit to our general fund by way of excise taxes. Now, my biggest concern is that once you make it easier for people to buy marijuana, you just make it easier for kids to get involved. You will, the amount of people who abuse that substance, while people call it medicine, it's still up for abuse and it's still a gateway drug. So one of my asks regarding the ordinance is that any type of fees that we receive, a port for the application fee, for the inspection fees, and for the excise tax, that a portion of that goes back to fund substance abuse prevention programs by way of recovery, by way of hospitalization, and by way of support. And so those are the three areas, treatment rather. And so those are the three areas I'm hoping to get support working with Councilmember Tate right now to make that happen. In addition, we are now looking at next year's budget already. And so our revenue estimating conference will be happening, I believe, early next month. We just got the conversation today. And as many of you know and have heard, the city of Detroit, COVID has devastated our general fund and our tax revenues. We are down over $400 million over the last 2 years. And so that's huge, which just means there's been layoffs, there's been furloughs, we've really had to tighten our belt. We've had to dip into our savings, which means that eventually we're gonna have to replenish that. And we can't take too much more of this downturn in the economy. And without the federal government supporting the cities the way that we need, it has been really, really tight. But as many of you know, and I want to say thank you to everybody who came out and voted on Tuesday. You made the state of Michigan and the city of Detroit proud. And I continue to get kudos every day from my colleagues, cohorts, and others from around the country saying, Detroit, you all did it. Thank you very much. So we are looking forward to the relationship that's been established by Mayor Duggan and the president-elect. While he was a VP under Obama, he was very, very supportive and helpful of Detroit. And we're hoping that will extend into the White House. And so Mayor Duggan has indicated that he believes that that support should hold. And with the Democratic president, who has been very vocal in support of another CARES Act, and with the House in support of the CARES Act. I believe they're going to be able to get the Senate to come on board as well. We're looking forward to an additional CARES Act, and hopefully it'll be the number of the trillions versus billions when it comes to getting money back into the system. And Wall Street is even saying that the most successful program that came out of the CARES Act was direct money that was sent to everybody. So I'm not sure how many of you received your CARES Act check that came directly to you. That was seen as a very successful program. So we're hoping to see that as well. In addition, speed cushions have now overtaken blight as the #1 phone call we get into the district office. And so we know almost everybody, if you haven't received a speed cushion, typically most people want a speed cushion on their block or in their area. And so to get those speed cushions, you need to apply. If you haven't applied yet, please call my office and we can tell you how. In addition, blight. And once again, I want to thank all the voters who came out and supported Prop N. It passed 70-30 to support the demolition of those blighted and abandoned homes in our neighborhoods, as well as the rehab, the basic rehab and securing of 8,000 homes, the blight, the demolition of another 8,000 homes. And so I'm really focused and pushing hard on getting homes in the 3rd district on the blight list early to make sure we get that taken down. So if you have homes in your neighborhood that you want taken down, please send that list over to my office. And many of you know the phone number, 313-224-1198. Once again, 313-224-1198. Call and give us those numbers. And if you are not a member of my tech service, please join. If you're not a member of my tech service, please join. That number is 47177. And to that number, you will text this word, District 3, District and the letter 3 to 47177. And then you'll be prompted to go for the rest. And I will add that information into the chat. Now to Ms. Jackson, can I take any questions at this time? Ms. Jackson, any questions?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, great. Do we have any questions for Councilman Scott Benson?
Just one quick question for the speed cushion. What is the speed limit? I was thinking there must be some type of speed limit that needs to be set on this particular street before you can apply for a speed cushion. What might that be?
Mr. Reverend Peterson, very good question. So the streets, they're not collector or arterial streets, they're going to be residential streets, so your neighborhood streets. So basically 25 miles per hour or below. And what I'm going to do is I also put into the chat area the link where you can go to apply for a speed cushion. And today during public comment at City Council meeting, we had a very robust conversation about this. And you need to make yourself and your neighborhood as competitive as possible, which means you need to make sure that not just you, but your neighbors are also submitting applications for speed cushions. Now, speed cushions have been overwhelmingly popular within the city of Detroit. So we've always had more applications than we've had speed cushions, but next year, the year 2021, we're putting in double what we usually put in for speed cushions. So instead of $2.5 million, we're putting in $5 million to put out more speed cushions. So hopefully within a 5-year period, we'll be able to get to the entire city and accommodate everybody's needs. And we prioritize speed cushions in neighborhoods around schools and around parks where children are. But the more people on your block who apply, the better your chance of getting a speed cushion. Does that help, Reverend?
Yes, thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we have another question for you, Councilman.
Yes,
Hi,
ma'am.
Councilman Benson, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Is there a list that the community can check to see where they fall for the speed cushion if their streets are coming up?
So what we can do is that list comes out once they start being installed, and we will put that list out. But because of President Jones's new community outreach ordinance, that the area where speed cushions are going to be installed will be flyered, and there will be Facebook as well as social media posts about the neighborhoods where those speed cushions will be located. But yes, call our office and we will get you a list of where the speed cushions will be located.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Do we have any
Ms.
other
Jackson, do I have
questions?
more questions?
Any more questions?
Can't
Let me
believe that.
see.
That was easy.
I know, you had a good day. Look at you. Okay, well, I appreciate it, Councilman. Are you gonna stick around for a little bit?
I will stick around and be here. I'm going to have to go mute because I have to make some phone calls, but I will be here. And Terry's here as well. And so if you need me to come back, he will text me.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Thank you, everybody. I'll be here.
Okay. Let's see. Captain, how are you this evening? We have Captain Walton on the line that will give us our police report to this evening.
I'm doing great, thanks. I somehow got signed in under D-Rob's sign-in, so I have the wrong name under there, but it's me. Just, I'll go over this crime stats year-to-date real quick, and then if anyone has any questions, I'll be happy to try to take them from you. We're doing pretty well crime-wise. We're down in every category except aggravated assaults. We're down 38% in homicides. We're down 44% in sexual assaults. We're down 22% in robbery. And as I said, we're up in aggravated assaults by 22%. We're down in burglaries by 46%, larcenies in 28%, and motor vehicle theft, we're down just a little bit by 2%. So we're, again, certainly heading in the right direction with our crime reduction, but we're far from happy with it. You know, until we can get down to zero crime, we won't be satisfied. But again, coming into the holiday season, I encourage everyone, I mentioned at the last meeting, encourage you to use common sense when you're out and about as far as keeping valuables in the car. Don't keep them visible. Same thing with your house. If you're away from home, close the drapes so people can't see in, lights on. I mean, we kind of go over it every year, but again, I just want to remind everyone that the more careful we are personally, the better chance we have of preventing crimes from happening. Yeah. So that's where we're at crime-wise. And like I said, if anyone has any questions, I'll be happy to take them.
Okay, do I have anybody with any questions out there? You guys are awfully quiet tonight.
Yeah, like Councilman Benson said, this is easy.
Right, everyone's so quiet. No questions? Well, Captain, it looked like you got out easy too.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Will you stick around will you be available for a little bit?
For a little bit, yes. I have a relative coming in from out of town, so I will probably have to duck out a little bit early. But
okay. Appreciate it.
Yeah, just real quick, in case I don't run into most of you, I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. I know that we won't have a meeting until after that. So everyone enjoy your holiday.
Thank you. And you do the same, you and your family.
Thank you.
James Wells, I see you're on the line. Well, I should say on Zoom. So yes, do you have any updates to give us this evening?
No, I'd just like to say good evening to everyone. There's nothing new. We had talked about some turkey giveaways, but we have reached our number now. We're not taking any more applications.
Okay.
But if anything comes up in the future, I'll let you guys know before that turkey day comes. But as the commissioner sends greetings as she always does, so I don't have anything specific to say right now. But if there are any questions or concerns, if I have any, if I can take a few.
Okay. Any questions or concerns for James Wells?
From the commissioner's office.
Right, from the, right. Do we have any questions, any concerns? I see a hand up. I believe that is Yolanda up there. Yes, okay, unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, Yolanda. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
I would just like to know, do she have any passes to the inauguration for the for our new president?
I don't know, ma'am. I will ask that question. I know that's a good question, but
Yolanda, you a mess.
I'm not gonna get involved with that. All I can answer, I don't have one.
Okay, well, I would like one. That's why I'm asking.
I will. Let me take your name down. I will pass it on.
Thank you very much, Yolanda McCants.
Mackenzie.
McCants. MCCANTS.
MCCANKS.
TS.
TS?
Yes.
Kinsey. Okay, I will ask that question. No, I'm not gonna promise you I'm gonna get you a call back, but if you don't hear from me, you know you don't have one.
Oh.
That's all I can say. But I will definitely, I will talk to her sometime later in the evening here. I'll be speaking with her.
Okay, but thank you very much. You tell her, if you tell her it's me, I guarantee we might could work out something.
Whoa, okay then. All right. We will certainly pass that on. And I thank you very much for that.
All right.
If there's no more questions, Ms. Jackson, I gotta get over to District 2 community meeting.
Okay, I don't think there's any more questions for you. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you too.
All right.
I will leave the meeting.
All right. Have a good evening and happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, ma'am. To everybody, happy Thanksgiving. Be blessed.
Okay, do we have Scott? You don't see him? Yes, I see her. We want to go ahead because I know you said 6:30 for him. Okay. Okay, well, I do see Detective Lestine Gilbert, and she's with the Squatters Task Force. Good evening, and how are you?
I'm great. How are you? How's everyone?
Wonderful, thank you. Well, we wanted you to give us some information or provide us some information with the squatters. I know it's a big issue that our NPOs are getting a lot of calls on now. I don't know, it seemed like it's getting a little bit worse instead of better, but can you give us some updates or tell us what, give us some insight to the squatters and what rights do we have, what rights do they have? If you can provide some information, that'd be great.
Okay, great. Well, let me start by saying I head the Squatters Task Force for the whole city of Detroit. If you can't hear me, let me know because I'm outside. My signal inside the house isn't very, very good right now. So if you can't hear me, let me know. So with that being said, I head the Squatters Task Force for the whole city of Detroit for the police department. I'm over all the NPOs when it comes to the squatters complaints. But I wanted to say to everyone, and maybe you can pass the word along, that if there's a complaint, we really, really would appreciate if the individuals have a complaint, if they would direct the complaint either to the neighborhood police officers at their precinct of the complaint of the house where they're having an issue, or if they would send it directly to my email. Because once they send it to the ombudsman, it's out of my hands. I can't do anything with it. So with that being said, a lot of times people will have a squatter's complaint, but I will say this, every squatter's complaint is not always a squatter's complaint. So you may have an individual that's in the neighborhood that has just moved in. They may be involved in some type of program for low income and have children that possibly are causing chaos in the neighborhood or unruly or uncontrolled, shall I say. But that doesn't mean that they're squatters. So with that being said, if you have a complaint, it would be really, really good if you directed it to my email, to my office. I'm through Chief's Neighborhood Liaison. I'm through the Chief's office. And before we're done, I'll give you my email. And I've been to the precinct before, and I had a chance to speak to some of the community individuals there at the precinct. And I left my business card and my phone number to my office. So let's talk about exactly what is squatting. First of all, squatting, years ago, it used to be a civil matter, but squatting now is criminal. First time misdemeanor, second time, it's a felony, okay? And you guys can stop me as we go along if you have questions. So let's talk about what is civil. Civil is if you have a former lease. If you're paying money to someone and you fall upon hard times and you can't pay your lease or your monthly rent or whatever, if it's a land contract or your mortgage, that is going to be a civil matter. That is not squatting because you have a former lease. Squatting is when an individual, and this is a state law, this is not a city law, it is not a county law, it is a state law throughout the state of Michigan. And I have the numbers for you guys if you don't understand. The state law is 750.553. What does that say? It means that if you enter into a property, be that if it's a two-family flat, a duplex, a single dwelling, or apartment complex, which is a little bit more difficult because there's so many units, without authorization from the owner, for reasons of residing, you are deemed to be squatting. That means if you are an individual and you go into the home that is vacant, or even if it's occupied and individuals are out of town, without authorization, meaning pulling the boards down and you go in and you move in furniture and you have food in the refrigerator and you turn on the DTE illegally, that's another felony, you are squatting. That is not a former lease. So with that being said, this is what I handle. I screen the individuals, I get the complaint from the complainant, I get the information from the occupant, I bring the case together. If necessary, I type up a search warrant and I send the MPOs out to take further action, which we all know what that means. That means they go over to the DDC center. So with that being said, the moratorium with the governor, that only applies to individuals that have a former lease. That does not apply to squatting. If you have somebody that is squatting, the moratorium does not cover you. Again, squatting is illegal, it is criminal, and I will lock you up for it. Is there any questions? Do we have any questions? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I
Yes,
can hear you.
Yep, we can hear you. Do we
Okay,
have
I'm
any?
sorry if it broke up.
Nope, you're okay. Do we have any questions out there for Detective Gilbert?
I know when I was over to the precinct, there was 50 questions. So I'm sure someone has questions because a lot of people say, okay, well, the individuals that moved in, they're new in the neighborhood. Now, if you've been in the neighborhood and you know your neighbors for 10, 15, 20 years, and you contact me about a complaint and you say, well, I don't know the people. Well, do you know the former owner? Because I have a app that I go through the police department that only you have to be licensed to go through. I can get in touch with the former owner, but you have to give me a little bit of information. You can't say, well, I don't know who's the owner, or I don't know the people that live there. Well, if you've been on the block 15, 20 years and that person lived there as well, you would know something. But if not, I still can reach out and find out what's going on. A lot of these LLCs are coming through and they're buying up the properties. I had a case, and I'm just getting home, that I was dealing with a person over in Nice, France. The lady bought 4 homes in Detroit and she was scammed out of her money. Actually, 2 of the houses legitimately are her houses, but she's got squatters in there, so I got to get them out of there. But you have to be careful when you're dealing with these individuals because a lot of the people are from out of the country, overseas, and they're buying up property. And that's fine, you can do it. There's nothing illegal about that. But once we get somebody in there that's starting to do illegal activities, whether it's narcotic sales, if it's dog fighting, if it's what we call sex trafficking, or anything that we know that is illegal, then I don't handle that part. However, I do have a hand in it. We work hand in hand together. So if you think that that type of activity is going on, you can send it to me and I will send it to the unit that will take care of it. But needless to say, I just ask that if you have something, just reach out to your neighborhood police officers or to myself instead of calling the ombudsman. Because once it goes to the mayor's office, it's nothing I can do with it. I have to wait till the complaint comes back to me, which it kind of takes a little bit more time. So we want to expedite and get these people out of here if we can. Questions? Anybody has any questions for me?
Do you mind sharing your email address with us now?
Okay, I'm gonna everybody have a pen and paper, or do I need to wait?
Nope, go ahead and we'll put it in the chat for you.
Okay, I don't know. It's just when they call the office and they have a class. So you have a pen and paper? Oh no, hold on. Let me get pen and paper. Okay.
Right.
All right. It's going to be Gilbert, G as in go, I-L, B as in boy, E-R-T, L as in Lincoln, 504 at DetroitMI.gov. And let me give you did everybody get that? I can repeat it if necessary. Let me give you my office number, 313-596-2520. And you can leave a message. I have access to the messages 24/7. And if it's something that I need to know about right away, you can leave that in the message. And or you can call directly. Well, that is the chief's office. But if it's something that needs to be addressed and it's paramount that we get it right away. Some of the houses kids are running in and out of, and the chimneys are falling down, and the roof is shifting to the house next door. Those areas are dangerous. So if you have individuals going in and out and you think that there's narcotic sales, let me know, and I'll touch bases with narcotics or whoever will need to handle that, and we'll get it taken care of. But just let us know. Give me the heads up. You can email me or you can call me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Do we have any questions for Detective Gilbert? Any questions? Going once? Ms. McCants, unmute yourself, my dear.
Okay, my question is, does this apply to abandoned buildings too?
It does, simply because the abandoned building is going to be, that property in itself is going to be one or two things. It's going to be, well, actually one of three things. It may be privately owned just because it's abandoned and no one, and which we do write tickets for that when they don't take care of the property. If it's abandoned, it still belongs to someone. It may belong to the city. It may belong to the county. It may belong to one of the individuals that are overseas. It might belong to a private individual. So with that being said, the abandoned building, when I pull it up and I trace it and I title it out, it belongs to someone. Now, it also may be on the demo list. If it's on the demo list, as someone was speaking on earlier, if it needs to come down right away, Mayor Dugan, he wants to know about that. So, and I'm a part of that, part of the program as well. So abandoned buildings, yes, because people in the wintertime is going to be coming. A lot of the homeless are going to go into the buildings that are abandoned and they're going to stay in there. And sometimes they build fires in there. The buildings catch a fire. Now we have to deal with the burnout in the area. So it does apply. To answer your question, the thing is, do we want to try to get that person to a program? If they're homeless, we do have, there's 4 programs that I'm involved with as far as knowledge of trying to place a family. However, again, if you could just get in touch and say, well, listen, Detective Gilbert, this is what we have. The building is abandoned. The windows are out. There's kids running out. They do drugs in there. I handle all of that. I mean, again, some of it doesn't apply to my position, but I'll get it taken care of for you because we all work together. Does that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Do we have another question out there? I thought I saw a hand. Okay, I don't see any more questions. Going once, twice. Okay, well, thank you, Detective Gilbert. I appreciate you so much for joining. I know you got here at the last minute, but I appreciate you so much for coming in and giving us some great information.
No, I was on early. I was on at 10 minutes too.
Well, no, I mean, we kind of called you at the last minute. I appreciate you being able to come.
Call me anytime. You know, they call me up until 10, 11 o'clock at night. So you can call me anytime. It's no problem.
Well, I appreciate it.
I'm always there to help anybody and everybody. And remember this, it doesn't have to be a squatting issue because, you know, I get the calls about the rodents and all this. But again, being a city advocate, I am a detective, been on the job for 23 years. I try to help in any area I can because our citizens is what we stand for. So just let me know.
Well, I appreciate you so much, and I'm quite sure everyone else does too. So thank you so much.
Okay, y'all have a blessed night and have a safe holiday, all right?
You do the same.
You do the same.
Okay, bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm seeing Scott, is it Withington? I think I pronounced that right.
Yep, you got it right.
All right. Well, hello, sir, and how are you this evening?
All right. Just give a quick update on COVID. As you may have heard on the news, cases are increasing. In the past 2 weeks, we have roughly doubled what's called the positivity, which is the percentage of people that test positive of all people who get tested for COVID, has doubled from 2.1% to 4.3%. And the average number of cases per day has also doubled in the past 2 weeks. And both of those are up triple from early September. The most cases are in 48209, 48210, 48221, and 48228. The bulk of the cases are among people under 40, and older people are a minority of the cases, which is fortunate because they're at greater risk.
Right.
The biggest reasons we believe behind this increase is because people are spending more time indoors at indoor events and activities where transmission is more likely than outdoors. Of course, the last couple days were probably good for people doing things outdoors. And we have currently 14 ongoing outbreaks that include nursing homes, rehab centers, restaurants, schools, and several workplaces. The same advice on how to reduce your likelihood of catching COVID remains the same. Keep your distance from people outside your household and wear a mask, especially when you're indoors and when you're not able to stay consistently at least 6 feet from people, such as if you're in a crowded outdoor activity. Someone asked the zip codes. Those are the 48209 has plus 76 cases. 48210 has plus 55 cases. This is in the past week. 48221 plus 37 and 48228 is plus 39. In terms of if you're a business owner, you want to keep the crowds down in your business, keep people spaced out, figure out how to lay out your business so as to help with that. And then also it's a good idea to max out what you can with your ventilation. If you have a forced air heating or whatever, keep the fan in the always on position as opposed to the auto position, and max out the fresh air exchange if that's adjustable, and use the highest rating filter that your system is capable of. Check with the manufacturer's design or your technician. But MERV 13 is generally considered fairly effective in capturing viruses. And of course, if you're someone who's especially vulnerable, if you are over age 65, if you have asthma, heart disease, diabetes are all conditions that contribute to your risk, then you should take extra precautions to protect yourself or your family members who have those conditions. And you should keep your eye out. If someone you're in close contact with tests positive for COVID, then you would need to quarantine for 14 days. And that's one issue we're seeing, that people quarantining is dropped off from several months ago when they get notified. And of course, if you have an employee who tests positive, then you would call the health department. And I'll put the contact information in the chat. Are there any questions? And for people on the phone, the email address would be dhdoutbreak@detroitmi.gov. And that's also a number you can email if you have questions or complaints about businesses or others that are not following the rules. And then we'll triage it and work with other agencies and the neighborhood police officers, including Officer Robinson. And the phone number is 313-876-4000. The basic issue is if you have someone asked the question about repeating it. If you have a forced air ventilation system, heating system, keeping it in the always on position on the thermostat as opposed to the auto setting helps to keep the air moving. And some systems will have an adjustable fresh air percentage, although that may require a technician to do that. But all systems will bring in some fresh air as part of their system. So that will help to air out your house. The side effect is that also helps to even out the cold and hot spots in your house, which is the reason I've been doing that for years.
I have a question. I saw that there's an app out now I guess, is it to report COVID? What is this app about?
So, and it just came out, so we're just finding out about it. But what it is if you if you have the app and you test positive for COVID, you can you would sign up for the app, you would get a PIN number that connects to your, that is used to activate the app. In other words, the PIN number is related to your positive test. So basically it's a way of confirming that you have indeed tested positive as opposed to someone trying to play games with it. And what it'll do is it will use the fact that your phone has the ability to know what other phones were nearby. And for any phone that was within 6 feet of you for more than 15 minutes, cumulatively during the period that you were contagious, it'll send them an anonymous text that said, someone that you were near someone who tested positive, and it'll give them the date in which they were close to someone who was positive, and it'll tell them how long they would have to quarantine before they would be be considered to be confident that they weren't going to come down with COVID. And my understanding is it also will, if you break quarantine when you're a positive case, it'll alert people that you came in contact with throughout the period that you're believed to be contagious, which is typically, for most people, it's about 10 days after your first symptoms come on or you test positive. For someone who's immunocompromised, it can be longer. Some people it's a little shorter, but 10 days is the rule of thumb we use. Okay. And when someone is, and then the other part is you have to be free of fever and have most of your symptoms improved for the last 3 days of that. So if you still have a fever, you're in period at least once a day, then you're still contagious until you stop having a fever.
Okay, thank you for that. Yep. Thank you for that, appreciate it. We have a question for you. Yolanda, take yourself off mute.
Okay. My question is, some people get tested for the virus and it comes back saying a positive status. When they go back for a second test, it comes back in a negative status. I guess I'm not quite understanding.
Yeah, I understand what you're talking about. So once you test positive, it's not recommended that you get tested again, because that 10 days represents how long it takes for a typical person's immune system to get to the level where the virus in your system has been inactivated by your immune system. But you can still shed inactivated viruses for days or even weeks or after you are no longer contagious. And that's the case for most diseases. Your body will continue to shed the virus, but it's a virus that's been inactivated by your immune system. The T cells of it, the killer T cells have attacked it and made it so that it's inert. Viruses aren't really alive, so the phrase dead or alive isn't really accurate for a virus, but it's a virus that's no longer functional. And what they found is that because the most common tests are testing for the RNA of the virus, it doesn't tell you whether that virus is active or not. So that's why they generally recommend, once you test positive, unless you're taking a test that is a more effective test, like there are some tests that's just coming out now that's called an antigen test that is somewhat less effective than the lab tests that your doctor's office might give you. And so if you tested positive for that, your doctor may want you to have a lab test to confirm it.
Okay, but I guess I hear what you're saying. If I went and I took the test came back negative. Okay, for whatever reason, I decided I wanted to go back and take another test. What is the difference between the free test and the test that's costing $125?
That's probably more about your insurance and where you got the test. There's basically 3 types of tests that test for whether someone is infected with COVID. And now those are the antigen test, which tests for a part of the virus that that triggers the immune response in your body. There's the RNA test, which tests for the genetic material. Like you probably heard, we have DNA in our system. Coronaviruses are RNA viruses, so their genetic code is actually an RNA, not a DNA. And the rapid test that you may have heard, that's the 15-minute test, is not quite as accurate, but it's close, but not quite as accurate as the lab tests. The lab test that is done by the state health lab or by the labs that your doctor would send it to are very slightly more accurate than the rapid test, RNA test. And then the rapid RNA test is a little more accurate than the antigen test. The antigen test can get false positives if you're infected by certain other closely related coronaviruses. And it can, and of course, it's not as sensitive as the lab test, so it can give you a false negative. And sometimes that's what's involved in someone who gets a negative test and then gets a positive test. They were using a less sensitive test and that didn't pick it up, whereas the more sensitive test did.
Scott,
Okay,
I have a question for you. Now here, let me ask you this. I thought once you test positive, that you had to have 3 negative tests to clear you. Is that still the case, or?
That actually was only ever a recommendation for medical personnel, people who work in a hospital.
Okay.
That was not ever a recommended method of clearing someone other than than someone who's working in a hospital. They've revised, as we've learned more about coronavirus, the time from symptom onset. So if you test positive and you had symptoms, so say you develop a loss of taste or smell or a cough, and then you test positive a couple days later, the date that symptom first came on is considered the beginning of your now 10 days. It used to be they did 7 days plus 3 days of being symptom-free or being free of fever. They now are saying 10 days with at least 24 hours with no fever without the use of Tylenol or other medications that will reduce fever. And your symptoms are much better. They may not be completely gone, because often you'll still have some lingering symptoms after you're no longer contagious because your body is still recovering. Just like maybe if you have a bad case of vomiting or diarrhea, you're exhausted for a couple of days after you no longer have any other symptoms.
Okay. Now, and also too, is it true that after you have the symptoms, and I guess you get over the symptoms, let me see how I want to word this. Okay, I think you answered the question. I'm kind of thinking here, and I'm kind of thinking that maybe, like you said, so much has developed since then, so things are being done different. Mm-hmm. However, what I did read, and I don't know how true this is, they say there are some people, and I'm not sure what the reason is that they had developed mental illness. Have you heard anything about that?
So among the elderly, especially the extreme elderly, they have found that confusion and decreased mental acuity or mental status is something that's found with COVID. It's not unique to COVID. If you're among nursing home residents, there are a lot of infections when you're older, none of us are as sharp as we were when we were 20, right? And that unfortunately keeps going throughout your life. So right. So it's not surprising that that issue would be more common. And then anytime you have a fever, that does affect your brain. So I've seen back and forth as to whether it's something specific to COVID or whether it's more something that happens with a lot of illnesses for some people.
Okay.
And The one thing, people, of course, I'm wearing the mask. I'll give you another argument for people who are saying a mask won't prevent you from catching COVID. And that's true. It's not designed to make you 100% safe. But what's been found is that the size of your initial exposure or your initial dose does have a very big impact on how serious your case is. So if you get a bigger amount of virus in your system initially, that gives the virus a head start to get you sick before your immune system can start recognizing it's there and getting on top of it. And that applies to any illness. So that's why washing your hands doesn't 100% guarantee you won't catch the cold or get norovirus, but it certainly helps. And then if you do catch it, you have less of a starting point of the virus. If someone who is contagious were to cough directly in your face, neither of you are wearing a mask, then you're going to inhale a lot more of the virus than if both of you are wearing a mask and they're the same distance away.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that information. Do we have any other questions out there? Any other questions going once? Do we have any questions either from YouTube or Facebook? If you guys want to submit your questions in the chat, or if you're on YouTube or Facebook, you can call 313-596-1118 for YouTube and Facebook. You can either drop it in the chat or you can call the number. Okay, well, you got off good too tonight, Mr. Withington. So thank you so much.
I just put the wrong link in the chat for the app, so I'll get the correct one and put it in the chat.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, I have a question that I'm gonna pose to Officer Hill. We as the citizens, how can the community be more of service to you guys? I hear a lot, maybe you guys may need more information, or I want to know, what can we do to better serve you all?
I believe it's the communication factor that I'm looking at. It's the dialogue, kind of be specific of the complaints and what's really going on. So when you call and address certain things about blight, it's very helpful to address what's direct, because I've been in some neighborhoods where, multi-homes were blight issues, or like my partner said earlier, we may say it's squatters, but then it's a neighbor that's been living there for a long time, that's kids that's just, out of order. So we can address that differently. So kind of be a little more clear about what the problem is, and feel free to speak to us. I mean, we are the police, but I know we don't go out there and put your name out there or anything of that nature. So feel free to talk to us and communicate with us to let us know really what's going on. And then we will handle it in a professional manner to get it handled. And also with follow-ups, I think it'd be good to communicate and have follow-ups too. That's key.
Okay, because, and then I asked because, and I guess that brings me to the next piece, is that, we have to, you guys, and it's not you guys, it's the community. You guys have to make effort. The community has to make effort. I can't go to, our officers with a complaint and you guys aren't making any effort to do anything about it. Come to us, call us. Yeah, a lot of times they're not sitting in the office ready to answer the phone. So if you call 596-1118 and the phone and no one answers, leave a message. I get this all the time that unfortunately our NPOs don't sit in the office. They are out in the streets and they're doing what they need to do. I'm available by email. I'm available by phone. During the day though, it is hard to get me by phone because I do work during the day. But if you send me an email or a text, I can answer you back as soon as I can. But please be mindful that the NPOs do not sit or stay in the office. They are out and about in the communities answering complaints and answering runs. And I know we want our complaints answered when we want them, but unfortunately it doesn't work that way. So, you know, they have priorities with complaints like they have priority with runs. So we have to give them a minute when you know, put something out there, or you're not happy with something, or there's blight, or you need a car moved, or the dumpster's out. It does take a minute, because remember, you're on that list, but there's no telling how many more may be ahead of you. So just, you know, bear with us, help us out, give us as much information as you can, as Officer Hill stated, and that will help us out a lot.
And also, I like to interject.
Sure.
You know, the NPOs, we do have cell phones, but if it's an emergency and a priority, mean shots fired, things are happening, I want you all to dial 911. I want you to dial 911 because it needs to be put on tape, and we have guys working 24/7 so they can respond and be there. I do not want you all to be in danger trying to wait for us the next day on certain priorities that you have. If there is an emergency, I want you to call 911. We will do the follow-ups, but we all have cell phones too, and our emails. So I've had individuals call me late at night because the emergency happened outside, and I referred them to call 911, but I also made notifications too, so somebody can get out there to that house also. But again, you know, if it's priority, call 911, but we have cell phones and email addresses also. So if we're not in the office, like the president said, text us or put on our email, and we will do a follow-up.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Officer Hill. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, and I keep forgetting about that, and that's shame on me. And you also have your Improved Detroit app. I've used that app several times, and it works really, really well. So if you download that app to your phone, you should be able to use that and report anything on there. I've done stop signs, I've done dead animals, I've done sewage, and I mean, it's taken care of. And they actually let you know the process that they're in. I've been notified, you know, we received your request, we're in process, and then it says your request has been completed. So it does kind of walk you through it, and it's a very good app to have on your phone. And I take a picture and everything right there in the app, so you don't have to go out, go back in. You take care of everything right there on the app. Very, very good app, and it's very useful. So also, please make sure that you download that app as well. Do we have any questions out there? Any concerns? Anything you want to bring up? Ms. McCants, I see your hand. Let's unmute you.
Yes. At least twice a week, we got a problem on Van Dyke, and maybe they're already aware of it. We got the motorcycle club on one side, and then we have the car wash on the other side. Once or twice a week, they got an all-out party going on. Just last night, we came through there, motorcycles on both sides of the street. They got the music box. They got the grill going. I mean, I know we're supposed to be distancing. Or anyone aware of this activity that they have at least twice a week at that car wash? I think at the motorcycle club, they're there just like, say, Friday, Saturday. But that motorcycle club last night was Monday. So they are there like Monday, Wednesday, or Monday, Thursday.
And the weather's been nice too, so that's not helping.
No, it's not.
Okay, so what I'm gonna have you do, Yolanda, we'll have you call up to the station and give some more information, because we don't want to put too much information across off on Zoom. So what you do is call the station tomorrow, or call one of the NPOs, and let's get some more information about it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead and call me right now if you can. 596-1121.
Okay. Okay, Diane Allen, I see your hand up.
Yes, let me put in my spiel for property tax exemption. Please, if you have not applied for your property tax exemption, we are still accepting applications until December the 14th. But please read the application and submit all the correct documentations. Right now, I have 141 applications sitting on my desk because they do not have a deed, they do not have an ID, and they do not have income. I sent out letters. It takes a week or more for the letter to get to the taxpayer. And then once they put everything together that they should have put together originally and send it back, that's 2 or 3 weeks wasted. So we are trying to keep everybody in their homes. If you have not applied, please apply and please put the correct documentation in your application. That's all I got to say. We are working hard down there.
I know it. You guys always do.
I'm telling you.
Thank you so
Okay.
much. And that's great
Sure.
information because I hear that a lot too. So thank you for that information again.
Okay.
And keep reminding us too.
Yes, I will.
And
Okay.
how is that application done? Just in case I run across some people that needs that.
Okay, you can fill it out it's on the computer. Okay, you can go to City of Detroit, HPTAP, it's on the computer. You can fill it out, but you cannot submit it from the computer. It still has to be either brought in or mailed. Now, to bring it into the city county building, room 130 is open to accept applications. There is no face-to-face contact. Okay. And then on the 8th floor, room 824, we have a slot that you can slip things in that slot. But you can go to the computer and do it, or you can call us and we will mail you one. But everybody has gotten 2 or 3 applications already. They've been mailed out 2 or 3 times.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And we want to help everybody. So please get them in.
All right. Do we have any other questions? Any concerns we would like to bring up while we have our MPOs? All right. Going once? Going twice? All right. That's pretty cool. All right. We don't have any questions at the moment. We want to do the basket? Okay. We're going to do, as you guys may have read on your flyer, that we're doing we're going to do 5 winners for Thanksgiving basket. You know, unfortunately, we are not going to have senior turkey bingo. We're not going to have anything that we usually are able to pass out turkeys for. So what we did come up with is we're going to pick 5 winners, and we're going to have the, one of the officers, Officer Williams, she's going to come in here, and the names are already in the hat. And what we're going to do is right in front of the camera, we're going to pick 5 names. And I guess we'll get them delivered to you guys one way or another. So we'll cross that road when it's time. And I believe here she comes. And we're going to do this right now. And we're going to pick our 5 winners.
Well, hello, everybody. I know everyone loves free gifts. So let's shake it up here and see who we got. Oh, nope, can't do that one. The first gift goes to D-Rob. But you know what? He's a vegan. He doesn't get anything. So let's see who else I can pick out here. Iris Limel. Is that her name? Is she on there? I thought I saw her. Is Miss Iris on?
Unmute yourself. If Iris, unmute yourself.
Okay, well, we'll set her to the side and we'll make sure that she eats her turkey. The next one is Maria Smith. Ms. Smith, are you on tonight? Maria Curry Smith. We'll make sure.
I know who y'all.
We'll make sure she'll get one. Oh, one of my favorite people, Miss Betty Caldwell. Miss Betty, are you on the phone today? No, Miss Betty?
Bless her heart. She couldn't, she was funny because she couldn't do it. Bless her heart.
And let's see, how many is that? 3. Passion Crawford. Ms. Crawford on? Okay. Set Ms. Crawford aside. Cool. Ms. Williams, Tamara Williams? No? One of our boys? Okay. Let's see. Someone got to be on here. Miss Kim Jackson.
You know what? No, pull another name.
Let's see. Who else do we have? Diana Allen.
Yes.
Are you here? I see somebody celebrating, so she must be on here.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you. Thank
Congratulations.
you.
We will
Thank
be
you.
contacting you to for your pickup, okay?
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right, well, that's our 5 people.
Okay, so now that we've did our 5 winners for the Thanksgiving basket, here's another thing. We're going to continue, usually in the month of December, of course, we have our Christmas party, which we know that we're not going to be able to have this year. But what we're going to do is that because we're doing Zoom now, YouTube and Facebook, we're going to keep the Zoom meetings going all the way through March of 2021. So usually we take a break in January and in February, but we're not going to take a break this year. We're just going to keep on going through because we missed so many months this year. You know, we keep our meetings from 6 to 8. The meetings may be shorter. You know, it's the holiday. You guys may have concerns. We will, you know, we're still available no matter what. And you guys can always send me an email. You guys can, you know, keep reaching out like you've been reaching out to me and to the MPOs as well. So I just wanted to give you guys heads up that we will continue meeting all the way through March of 2021. At that time, we'll decide what's going to happen. I think Facebook, Zoom, YouTube, Facebook is working really well. We're going to play things by ear and see how things go. So we're just going to take one step at a time. But right now, we are going to go to March of 21, and then we'll kind of keep touching bases from there. Any questions? Okay, so pretty much we've covered everything that we needed for the meeting. We had our what we need. What am I missing? Yes. Okay. So here's the deal. You know, we're doing the flyer and we have the link, and now with the link, it's asking you to register. If you share that link with anybody in your community, your block club, or whomever, they must register as well. They need to not just grab the link and get on. They need to register. And that's what we're encouraging people to register. So if you share, that's fine, but please make sure you tell them to register in order to join the meeting, okay? That's what we're asking you guys to do for us. Okay. I attended a meeting last Thursday, and at this meeting that I attended, my mom, as many of you know, she lives in number 12. So I'm always going to look out for mom. So I attend number 12's meeting as well. And they had a great idea. And I thought I would share this with you guys because we hear so much negativity right now. Everything is going wrong in 2020. You know, I give or take, the election is probably about the best thing that's happened so far in 2020. But what I want to do is, for the moment, I want to do a segment, and we might do this for our next couple of meetings. We call it the good news segment. Something that's going good, whether it's with the city, whether if you had a new grandbaby, whether you just, we want to hear some good news for a change. So I want to dedicate at least the next maybe 10 or 15 minutes with someone that wants to share good news. So if you have any good news to share, whatever it may be, please do so. Do I have any good news? Yolanda McCants. We're going to have you unmute yourself. And then next will be Diane Allen.
I am going to be a proud grandmother second time.
All right.
What you got to do? What they say, y'all?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Miss Allen, you are next, my dear.
Okay, my good news is I've got a birthday coming next Tuesday, and I've been here in the city of Detroit all my life, and that's a long, long time. And I'm healthy and I'm well and I'm loving it. I love my city.
Amen to that, and happy, happy birthday to you. Thank you for everything that you do for us, Miss Allen. We really appreciate it. Okay, next across the line, who? Gloria Gibson. Any good news? You got to take yourself off mute for us. I see your lips. Nope, take yourself off mute. There you go.
I'm healthy, I'm well, I'm blessed, I'm thankful.
Amen. Thank you. Appreciate you always here at our meetings. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Reverend Peterson, I know you have to have great news for us.
Well, it is always good news. I think Sister Gibson already hit on that with regards on we got a chance to just breathe in and breathe out at this second. And that is good news for each and every last one of us, because based on all the cases and all the numbers that has been increasing, and even those who have passed on, and we have lost loved ones, but yet God is still faithful, and we got a chance to breathe in and out. And that is truly good news for each and every last one of us.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Mr. Wire, do you have any? And that is my treasure. Hello, Mr. Wire. Take yourself off mute.
Hello.
There you go. Welcome, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I can't complain. Not too bad for an old fella.
Well, that's always good. Everything's good with the family?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
awesome.
Yeah. Blessed.
Amen. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
I see Miss Lockett. Is it Luckett?
Hey.
Luckett. I'm sorry. You know I can't see that far, people, so excuse me. Okay. Miss Luckett, any good news for to share with us? You might have to take yourself off mute.
All is well. I have no complaints. My family is healthy.
Amen.
Everything is okay.
Amen. Thank you so much. Okay, let me see. I see the number. You know, I can't see them numbers. 4265. 4265. Take yourself off mute. Any good news to share with us? Okay, well, we're going to keep going. Okay, who do we just take? Who's that? 0420. Any good news to share with us?
Yeah, this is Ernest Johnson. I'd like to say we have good news, and proposal in passed, and District 3 going to see some demolition of abandoned houses. It's going to increase the value of the property that's there, and how it's going to be fixed up so people can move in. And that's a very good thing that is going to happen next year.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Always great news when you hear that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and while I have you on the line, what's going on with the state fairgrounds? We need to make progress here. What's going on? We get a yay, a nay, a yay, and a nay. What's going on?
Amazon?
Absolutely, sir.
Yeah, we asking people to, in a year from now, Amazon gonna be hiring. So we asking people to get in the pipeline, the Amazon pipeline, by going to the workforce with the city. And just like with the Ford, apply for the Amazon positions, because it's a go.
Okay, now
it's gonna be a go. So people can start applying now, and it's gonna get benefits, $15 an hour starting, training, all of that is but it's gonna be going through that work program with the city.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Is there like a list of the different types of jobs you can apply for, or just apply for it and then then you'll start going through the chain? How does that work?
Right. Go to WeWork and apply for it through that, or go online and apply, and then it's gonna have something for Amazon, and it should. I haven't went online and looked, but it should have different positions too. But I know that you're gonna have to. It's got to be city employees. That's why it's going through the workforce, the WeWork, and they're gonna be screening that you're a resident, and that take you to the training to be qualified for the position. Because I think it's a high school diploma, GED.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
0033 0033. How about you unmute yourself? Any good news? Yep. Okay, let's move to the next one. What's that number? 7818. Any good news? 7818. Take yourself off mute. There you go.
Hello, everybody. This is Sherry from Commissioner Ware's office.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm great, and I must say that it's always good news to wake up, to see another day, to even be out, even though we got to wear the mask and stuff. It's still a good thing. And I also wanted to thank everybody who supported Commissioner Ware, and she's reelected now. And
amen.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And when I came to you, Commissioner Jewel Ware, I should have said congratulations, and it kind of slipped my mind. So congratulations and thank you for all that you do for the community. We really, really appreciate it. You and Sherry both. So thank you. Okay. Oh, Scott, you have your hand raised. Take yourself off mute.
So since you mentioned a piece of good news, if you haven't heard the news, Pfizer announced that their vaccine has been 90% effective in phase 3 trials, and they expect to be filing for emergency use authorization from the FDA within a couple weeks. The priority people for vaccines would be people who work in hospitals and nursing home residents.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. That's great news as well. Time to get this under control. 7224. Last 4 digits. 7224. Take yourself off mute. Okay, next one, Diane Austin.
Hi, how are you, everyone?
Awesome, how are you?
I am hanging in here. I'm doing good, and I got some good news, and I got some okay news. My male friend is buying me a car tomorrow. We're supposed to pick it up. It's a Chevy Cruze 2016, and we're going our separate ways. I'm kind of sad about that, but he wants to get me another car before we depart. So that's my good. And then I got my daughter over here, Terry, to help me with the Zoom because I'm still learning. And I just thank God for every day. I'm glad I don't have the COVID-19. I do a class, a Commandos class every second Wednesday with Commandos Institution with the directors and the doctors, and we get gift cards. So I'm excited about that. I go online tomorrow. So like I said, I'm still learning the Zoom. But I miss you guys. I love you.
We miss you too, and thank you so much, and congratulations on a car for you and everything.
Thank you. And how is Dorna doing? That's one thing I needed to know.
Dorna is okay. I will probably be in the market looking for a secretary.
Okay.
But she's okay. I do, keep in touch with her. We do talk, I try to at least talk to her once a month.
Okay.
But she's hanging in there. So
That's good. Tell her Diane asked about her.
I absolutely will. I will do just that. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
And look, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. In a minute, I got to cut out because me and my daughter gonna make a run. And everybody have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. You too. You and your family. Okay, we got 3355. 3355, last 4 digits. Can you take yourself off mute? Okay, next over. Miss Green, Grandma Green, how are you? Take yourself off mute. Oh, bless her. Okay, we got you back.
Now, yeah, okay, I'm here now.
How's everything going?
Everything is just great.
Awesome. Any good news for us? Well, I know you got your health and strength, so that's good news in itself.
That's correct. I was honored Saturday for caregiving, and I'm also in a documentary, My Life with Rosie, which also is a children's book. It was Amazon, #1 Amazon book.
Awesome. All right, look at here. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for that information. I always like to hear good news. Chaplain Bailey, how are you, sir? I don't know. Are you on mute? We can't hear you. Look at that face. We see that frowned up face. You get yourself off mute? Okay. We'll come back to you when we get your audio fixed. How about that? We'll come back to you, Chaplain. Dr. Forsythe, hello, how are you?
Hello, how are you this evening?
Wonderful, sir, thank you. Of course, I know you have good news to share with us as well.
Well, the one good news is that we're still providing worship for our members at Pleasant Grove Baptist Church. We've been worshiping in the North parking lot as long as the weather allowed us. And this past Sunday was great weather. And we had double reason to celebrate with just being able to worship, but also celebrating the new president-elect and vice president-elect. So it turned out to be a great weekend for us all.
Amen. That's awesome. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's see. We have, who else? We have Martin. It looked like Martin. You know, I can't see folks. Is that Martin I'm seeing down there? Oh, we have Joanne Manny. Okay. Joanne Manny, can you take yourself off mute? Any good news for us?
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. We got a bad connection with you. We can't hear you.
Say I am very proud to be a Michigan.
Okay, we can't hear you. Yeah, we have a bad connection, unfortunately. We'll try to come back, okay? We have a bad connection with you.
I was very happy. Detroit, can you hear me?
No, you have a really, really bad connection. We can't hear anything from you. So how about we try to come back in a few minutes, okay? Is it gone? Okay. Chaplain Bailey, you want to try again?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Good evening.
Okay,
Oh, there you go.
Good news is that I know who been carrying me through all of this pandemic, health, strength, life, and an extension, and showing me love.
All right. Amen.
Nobody but him.
All right. And that's always a blessing in itself.
That's right. That's right. That's good news.
Absolutely. And it's good to see you, Chaplain.
Yeah. Good to see you.
We have Sergeant McClendon. Any good news to share with us? Okay, we'll keep moving. Sharice Martin.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, how are you?
Fine, and you?
Good, thank you.
I just want to say, I felt really good this weekend when I saw all the Black people come out and vote. That was a very good moment to feel the community coming out and sharing and one common cause and one common message in this United States, and I love that. And I'm like the chaplain that was on MSNBC. We went from picking cotton to picking presidents, and I am so very proud of our community. I love that. And this is a blessing to be here with everyone at this time too.
Absolutely. And thank you for always joining us. You've been with us a long time as well. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, who else do we have? You guys got to give me names. I can't see. Aisha Robinson. What's the good news?
Well, the good news for me is that I did actually save money on my car insurance with the new laws. So I'm happy about that.
That's always a good thing there. I love it. Thank you. Appreciate that one, Aisha.
You're welcome.
Is that everybody? We covered everybody? Did I miss anybody? Okay, anybody have any questions, any more concerns? Because we'll be able to get out of here a little bit before 8 tonight. So do we have any more, and I don't want to rush you off, but do you have any more questions or concerns? Anything you like to bring up? Going once? Going twice? Before we go, I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. We have another meeting. We have our December meeting. You guys will get the link. I'll make sure this time you probably get a little bit earlier than this time, but we kind of wanted to make sure we had our baskets ready before we, sent out that link. But we will be meeting again in December. Yolanda, I see you have a question. Unmute yourself. Oh, unmute yourself. We can't hear you.
And now you gave it to me. Okay, I would like to wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving, and please be safe and listen to our governor as far as wearing these masks, kind of slowing our pace, not getting into these loud crowds. People like myself who have pre-existing illnesses, we just have to continue to stay prayerful. And stay safe.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, and I would like for Miss Diane to give Miss McCants a call.
Yeah, okay. And I'm just saying too, Miss McCants, I'll be by to pick up my lemon cake. I'm just saying. Everybody here, when they looking for the cake, we looking for the cake. Okay, so everybody, it is now 7:35. All I can say is thank you guys for attending. I appreciate each and every one of you for the role that you play in the community. Thank you to the people on Facebook. Thank you to the people on YouTube that have joined. Please don't be strangers. We want you to come back. Have a good, safe evening. Happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you all in the month of December. Have a good night and stay safe.